Right, let's do the last session 4 of 4, which is all about selling. And first of all, I want you to think about selling as just helping people. Don't think about selling as manipulating people because a lot of people think selling is manipulation. A lot of people think that selling is all about doing a lot of talking, which is not the case. Selling is about asking the right questions and helping people to buy. So let's look at the definition of selling. The first definition is we need to convince buyers that what they pay or their cost is less than the value that they get in return. So, for example, Mercedes-Benzes are expensive. And we need to convince people that buying a Mercedes-Benz is actually you're getting a lot in return for your money. Or Toyota. Toyotas aren't cheap. Toyotas are actually quite expensive cars. And we need to convince people that buying a Toyota is actually gives you superior return on investment versus a different car. So another definition of selling is it's simply helping people to buy. And if you're worried about selling is manipulative, just think about selling as just helping people, and if you don't want to help people, then that's a horrible career. So selling is actually helping people. Let's move on. So you've seen the slide before. Selling is a form of promotion, and we don't just use selling, we use a lot of things. We use a little bit of, for example, in B2B, everything in yellow here is B2B advertising or promotion, if you like. But your secret weapon is this over here when it comes to business, is personal selling, face-to-face or on Zoom or pick up the phone or even just email. Key account management is where you really, really, really give people brilliant service, one-on-one attention, because they are seen as your key account. So let's say you had 10 husbands. They wouldn't all be your key accounts. Your most important husband, the one you love the most, would be seen as the key account. Good. So all I want to show you here that is personal selling is the secret weapon when it comes to B2B marketing. Is your secret weapon is personal selling. Let's move on. So this last session I've divided into just 2 lessons. They're fairly long. The first is reaching busy key decision makers, KDMs. This is really, really a challenge today. People are really busy. And then I want to teach you how to sell and how to do objection handling. So lesson 1 is teaching you how to reach busy key decision makers. And key decision makers are those really, really important people. We call them KDMs. Typically in your most important accounts, your biggest customers are key decision makers sitting in those key accounts. And what we've realized is what these KDMs, key decision makers, are looking for is they're looking for high-end solutions, okay, which is a big presentation. Every quarterly you have a massive meeting with them to discuss emerging issues, for example, and you have this intimate relationship when it comes to business, an intimate support system. What those key decision makers are looking for as well is a low-cost approach, which is what we call RAM, which is remote account management. It's a quick Zoom meeting, a quick email, a quick WhatsApp, a quick phone call. This is a low-cost form of selling versus big presentation quarterly meetings where you spend a lot of money and maybe even take them out to lunch or meet them for breakfast and train them. So there's currently a move from high-end and low-end, not just low-end and not just high-end, but you do a bit of both of these. Okay. Now, the biggest mistake we'll ever make looking after a big customer is going to your buddies, your peers, somebody who's the same gender, same age group, same color of skin, and we play around in this area. This is dangerous when it comes to really, really doing big business. The only way you're really going to do great business is to move. I mean, if you're the CEO or the salesperson, is to try and move high up as possible, because your key decision makers are sitting here, and then you can move down and meet less important people. So it's really important to understand this. So bad is moving down to junior people in a company. What we really got to try and do is to move as high as we can to the executive committee or the ManCo, management committee, and then move down to middle and junior management. This is the name of the game. You will do much better business going high and then moving down, not going down and then moving up. Okay, go high, get the exco to say, look, thank you for your enthusiasm. Let me introduce you to the buyer who's in middle management here. Once you start at middle management, it's difficult to go up. What you can do is move to the bottom and find somebody who can give you information on how to go to the top, but try and go to the top and then move down. Good. So this has been proven time and time again. It's a lot cheaper looking after an existing customer than to find a new customer. Harvard Business Review, for example, and Nick Redden in his book called Brand Profit quotes many different articles. And those articles say it's 5 to 10 times more expensive, which means 500 to 1,000% more expensive looking after, trying to find a new customer. New customers are expensive. Finding a new husband is expensive. Rather just look after your existing husband. And that's what we call customer retention. So I'm going to give you a few ways to reach the top people, the KDMs, key decision makers. Now, this lady's diary is booked solid. To try and get an appointment with her is very difficult. Okay, so how do we reach these very difficult people? So in a big company, there could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 KDMs who you need to be friendly with, who you need to build trust with, and understand. If your competitor has a relationship with these 7 people, you probably won't get the business. So I've come up with these ways to reach top key decision makers, and one of the most important ones is just ask for a 15-minute meeting, not a 1-hour meeting, and tell them about the benefits that you'll prove to them in that 15 minutes. Number 2, be very well prepared for that meeting. Number 3, use non-meeting communication, i.e. email frequently. Show them that you're thinking about them. Send them an interesting article, for example. Number 4, send them an article on email. This point number 3 could be anything. Okay. Number 5, offer to do a free analysis on their business. Number 6, put together a formal presentation and present it to all the KDMs. Number 7 is a huge one. Train your customer. This has become the new golf, training your customer. And if you've got a very interesting visitor or your boss, get the international visitor to meet with them while they're in South Africa. Okay, get your boss to meet with them. Have a quarterly feedback session. So every 3 months, every quarter, have a really big meeting with those key decision makers. Trade accounts with a colleague. If you can't close the deal, ask somebody else in your organization to close the deal for you. And it could just be because they don't trust you. It could be because of your hobbies, for example. Somebody else might have exactly the same hobbies that they have, and they'll have a much higher chance. Okay, set up an event, set up a golf day, a training executive seminar. Number 13, write an article and mention them in the article. Interview them for the article. Number 14, be the best and they'll come looking for you. That's called word of mouth. Number 15, send out a newsletter to your customers. Number 16, get your guide. Sorry, number 16 is referrals. Once your client is happy with you, ask them to refer business to you. Number 17, get your guide, a friend on the inside of your key account to assist you with whatever the next steps are going to be in that business. What are the next steps to get the business? Number 18, maybe go to their canteen and visit their canteen. Let's look at those 17 ways above and come up with your top 3 ways. What would you want to use if we looked at those 17 things above that I've just mentioned? What are your 3 tactics you're going to be using? So maybe do that exercise. All right. Now we're into lesson 2, which is teaching how to sell and how to handle objections. So what are the top 10 best ways of building trust? Let me go through them quickly, because this is what you got to do when trying to sell. First of all, one of your best tips I can give you is to build trust. Do small talk, relevant small talk, be on time, show that you're enthusiastic and optimistic, use people's first names when you're in meetings with them. That's a great way to build trust, but all in all, prepare for that big meeting. Number 2, ask a lot of questions. A little bit of more of that later, but this is the real secret to building trust, is asking questions. Why am I talking about 10 best ways to build trust? Because if you don't have trust, you can't sell. Number 3, dress appropriately. Smile. Do a single eyebrow flash when you first meet them. Go hi. The eyebrows must go up. It's called the single eyebrow flash. Get the handshake right. Use their names. Those are some beautiful ways to get trust going in the right direction. Number 4, do somebody a small favor. Do a free survey. All right. Say please. Say thank you if they give you the business. Pay genuine compliments if the company's doing a great job. Number 5, take notes. That shows that you really care. Even on Zoom, take notes, because after the meeting, you got to do a contact report and say, thank you for this morning's meeting, Zoom meeting, whatever meeting, face-to-face meeting where we discussed the following. And you must do a contact report on email. Number 6, be an absolute expert. Have the right information at your fingertips. If somebody says your price is too high, you're going to have to do REDS, which I'll teach you just now. It's called objection handling. Number 7, give them more than one solution. Don't just say we only have one solution. Give them an option A and an option B. Number 8, summarize often. Even on email, thank you for this morning's meeting where we discussed the following, and do a summary of the meeting. That really builds trust. Know how to close a deal. The best way to close a deal is just simply ask this question. Do you have any questions? They go, no. Well, the next step is, why don't you sign here? Do you have any questions or concerns about the Mercedes-Benz? No. Well, then the next step is we need to look at finance for you. This is a very important question, which I'll teach you later again. And then be honest and follow up. Good. So what is the opposite emotion of trust? Do you guys know? Well, it's called disgust. And if you're not building trust, then you are producing disgust. Okay, is the opposite emotion of trust, is disgust. And there is no emotion between trust and disgust. Somebody either trusts you or they do not. And that's why you need to decide how you're going to build trust. And if I say to you, what is the best way that you will build trust on your next sales call? Of course, you could refer to everything that I've gone through above. So when it comes to B2B selling, we got to be much more logical than emotional. Okay, so B2B selling, as soon as we go B to B selling, we got to be very logical. In other words, we got to talk and make sense. We got to discuss return on investment. We got to discuss money, and in short, we need very well trained salespeople when we're selling B2B. B2C is emotional, good looking. It's all about your clothes and color, and it's all about more the right brain than the left brain. Okay. Now, so most of you are actually going to be in B2B, business to business, and B2B, you've got to have very, very well-trained salespeople. That means you've got to have the right information at your fingertips. Let's move on. How do you sell? If I ask you to sell that pen, a lot of you would go, oh, my pen's the best. It's got the best features, advantages, and benefits. My pen is see-through. My pen never runs out of ink. My pen is the best, the best, the best. That's a horrible way to sell. Don't show up and throw up. Rather, do what? Ask questions. Ask questions. Rather say something, what are your current challenges with regards to pens? What's important about a pen? Do you prefer black ink? How do you feel about using gel? Are you left-handed or right-handed? Do you prefer a medium tip to fine tip? How do you feel about diesel? How do you feel about switching from petrol to diesel? What bothers you most right now about pens? This is the way to sell, by asking questions. Why? Because it builds trust fast. What would you like to see improved in your current plan? How do you think we can improve your efficiencies on your farm by 10%? You know what we do. We consultants. Okay, how can we make things happen for you? Ask questions. So one of the first stages of selling is to build trust, and one of the best ways to build trust is ask questions. Then we uncover their needs and wants even deeper, ask more questions. Okay. And even while we're developing solutions, we can phone them up and say, hey, by the way, and ask more questions. Okay. And the most important thing here with solutions is we need more than one solution. So offer them a type A and a type B. A type A apple and a type B apple. Here is your secret to selling. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Prepare what? Prepare your body language. Prepare your small talk. Prepare the right questions. And this is 70% of the battle won of selling. Building the solution is easy, and presenting the solution is the easiest part. But we've got to slow down and do this section really, really well. So section number 1 is this. Once we've done that, we can then move on to phase 2 in selling, which is asking more intimate questions to find and uncover their deep and dark needs, their secrets. You can't ask a very intimate question here because there's no trust yet. Okay, so the questions here are lighter than the questions here. And now we can start thinking and developing solutions, jointly developing solutions for the client, and then we need to propose. However, if they don't like your price, we've got to do objection handling. But if we propose and they like your price and there's no objections, then we can just simply summarize. So you were looking for the car in blue, big boots, diesel. What else did you want? Oh, you want to smash and grab. And is that all? No, the client says, I don't have finance. Oh, that's correct. We're going to do the finance for you. And then you can just say, any questions or concerns? No? Well, then let's sign you up. So we need to summarize before we close. And the best closing line we know is just say, do you have any questions? No. Well, then the next step is please sign here. Now that we know that we've closed the deal, after you've summarized, you get a feeling. So you wanted this, you wanted that, you wanted this, you wanted that. You're a little bit worried about the price. And they say, yeah, I'm okay about the price now because you explained to me the benefits of the high price. Now you can literally close the deal. You can just say, do you have any questions? No. Well then, okay, let's sign you up. When can we deliver the apples? Okay. However, if you propose in these objections, so the most difficult part of selling is actually objection handling. So let's look at objection handling. Everything's gone well, you're proposing now, and they say, whoops, your price is a bit high, or your company's too small, how can you deliver on time? And so whenever there's an objection, we need to go through what we call REDS, and the R and the E is really, really, really simple. The R and the E is just simply repeating the objection with an empathetic tone of voice. Okay, so if somebody says your price is too high, you just go, let's talk about price. Comforting tone of voice. All right, if somebody says your delivery is too slow. So yeah, let's talk about delivery. And then the D is probably the most important part of objection handling. We need to find out why they feel that way. So we need to ask a few questions. Maybe one question would suffice, but let's say we might have to ask, say, 3 questions. So somebody says, wow, your Mercedes-Benz is expensive. I'd say, Sue, you're quite right. Mercs are fairly expensive. I've repeated with empathy. And now I'll say, what are you comparing Mercedes-Benz to, Sue? Ask a price. All right. I could say, how far are we out of the ballpark? Are we 5% more expensive than Peugeot? Okay, and then I would solve. Now, I would talk about the benefits, the POD of a Merc. I'd say, okay, I see where you're coming from, Sue. Peugeots are really, really much better price than Mercs. But let me tell you a little bit about why you should buy a Mercedes-Benz. I know Mercs are fairly expensive. I understand where you're coming from because you're comparing the price to a Peugeot. Because that question over there told me why she feels they are expensive. So I could go through this this example. You go to the bank and you complain to the person giving you the home loan. You say, wow, your interest rates are expensive. I say, yes, you're quite right, Sue. Our interest rates are not the lowest. Okay, so I'm repeating with an empathetic tone of voice. Try not to use the word but. Okay. I just started a new sentence. Now I go, before I go to the benefits of why you should still consider us, why do you feel our rates are too high, Sue? I've asked a question. I'm going deeper. And then they say, oh, well, my dad just said I must always ask for a discount. I see where you're coming from. So we're not really more expensive than the other bank. It's just you just have been taught to always ask for a discount. I see where you're coming from. Okay, Sue, I know we aren't the cheapest in the industry. We're 11%. And then talk about the benefits of why they should be banking with you at 11% home loan. Okay, good. So let's look at another example. Your fees are too high. So yes, John, our fees are fairly high. Empathetic tone. That E over there is just the tone of your voice. Okay, so we've done the R and the E. Your fees are high. John, you're quite right. Our fees aren't the lowest in the industry, whatever you want to say. Now, I just say, before I go to the benefits of a high price, why do you feel our service is priced too high? And now we can, so I see you coming from John or Sue or whatever it is. However, when you calculate the value for money, and then you've got to present your benefits, or what we, in marketing, we call that your point of difference. Now, if somebody thinks you are expensive and you do not have a point of difference, how can you handle price objections? It's impossible. The other big one you're going to get, especially as entrepreneurs, people are going to say, we're happy with our current supplier of avocado pears. And this is how you handle this one. It's still repeat with empathy. That's great that you're happy with the current supplier. In particular, what is it that they do so well? Or what makes you so happy with your current supplier? There's the question. Okay. The D is going deeper. We'd go deeper by asking a question. I see where you're coming from. We do exactly that too. However, why don't you use us because we do X, Y, and Z as well? Why don't you give us a try? Okay. All right. So, okay. So the best closing line is just simply say, do you have any questions, or do you have any questions or concerns? And when they say no, obviously if they say yes, I've got lots of questions, you can't close a deal. But if you want to close a deal, just on whether it's on the phone or email, just type any questions on the phone. Do you have any questions? No. Well, then the next step is please sign here, or please place your order, or send us your purchase order, and we'll take care of all the details. Great, let's get started right away, or whatever it is. This part of selling is easy once you've handled the objections. Good. So you might want to go through this again. Otherwise, that's the end of the whole module. That's the end of module 4. Session 4 of 4. So we at the end of the marketing and sales module. So well done. You might want to do the pre-reading I suggested. You might want to look at my PowerPoint slides, the original PowerPoint slides to write a marketing plan. And remember, you can make a marketing plan as complicated as you want. You can make it as simple as you want. You can just do the business model canvas. And otherwise, good luck, go safe, and God bless. So if you're looking for my email address, here it is. It's ian@markitex.co.za if you've got any further questions. Otherwise, we'll see you live for the chat. We're going to spend 1 hour just doing a Q&A. So see you guys then. Bye for now.